Welcome to Goofy Getaways with your hosts, Amy Blades and Amy Fisher.
Hello, I'm Amy Blades, founder and CEO of Goofy Getaways. And if you are new here, thanks for joining. And if you're someone that's been watching our videos and are listening to our podcasts, and we are extremely grateful that you're back again. And this is definitely an episode or two that you're not going to want to miss. But I'm going to let my little counterpart, who I actually haven't seen in a little while, introduce herself. And then we're going to get rolling with our special guest, and super excited to talk about what we're talking about today.
Yes. Well, hi, I'm Amy Fisher. I'm our Vice President of Communication and Development here at Goofy Getaways and a travel consultant as well. And we are super excited. Yes, I miss you too, Amy Blades, by the way. But I get to see you in just a couple weeks. But very excited for our topic today because we get to talk to you about the brand new theme park in Universal Orlando, Epic Universe. And in order to have this conversation with you all, we knew that we needed to bring in one of our favorite people and somebody who is super knowledgeable. They've gone to 3 Epic previews already. So please note at the time that we're recording this, the only thing available is previews for Epic. That means the park is not officially open just yet. However, we've got somebody who's done 3 different previews here to share some amazing tips and tricks with you all so that you'll be ready for your Epic visit. So, special guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Kayla Hemphill, or if you've seen us on socials or anything, Kayla and Mark Alan. But yes, we have done Epic 3 times, and I just can't stop talking about this park. So I was very excited to be able to come on and do this with you guys today.
It was kind of funny. Amy and I were talking about Epic, and I said, this is one we have to have Kayla with us on because she definitely gets us excited. She's the one that's got me pretty pumped up and excited about it. So I'm really excited that you're here.
Yes, and we have so much to share with you. Word of warning right now, this is going to be 2 podcast episodes to break down Epic Universe for you because, not to be super cheesy, but it's truly epic and there's so much to cover that we want to make sure we give you the best details possible. So this is going to be our first episode where we're going to talk to you about Isle of Berk and Super Nintendo World. And then on our other podcast episode, you'll want to make sure that you stay tuned because then we will talk to you about Ministry of Magic, Dark Universe, and Celestial Park. So lots and lots of cool things involved in Epic Universe.
So I was excited and can say that my first visit that I was able to go to Epic, Kayla was with me, Kayla and Mark Alan actually. We had a group of us that went. It was super cool for us because Kayla had been there before. She was able to kind of talk us through the entire park, like from the moment we got there, which I think helped. I have been twice now. I was just there again yesterday for preview. And I was really excited to be able to go again, just even for just feeling more comfortable. And I was like, okay, I got this. And I think I only had to text Kayla like twice. So.
Well, and I think that's something, and we'll talk a little bit about this later too, I think, but I think having those second days and third days, it definitely helps because the more you get used to the park, the more you get to notice and the more you get to just kind of like relax and enjoy all of the little details because this park has so much detail, so much.
I was like, truthfully, I feel like you need multiple days just to see the details in the park. Not even for the rides, not even for the shows or the food, but to see all of the impressive details that they've put into it.
And I think that's something that we'll talk about, especially as an agency and when we talk to our agents. And I will say we do have an amazing business development manager. I want to give a shout out to Gail because I believe, are going to have, will there be 12 of us all together that will have been able to see Epic before it officially opens? And I feel like as an agency, that's exceptional. And I'm excited about it because even though it's one park, one of the things I realized in going the second time is what I did miss the first time. And I think when we're talking to people about Epic, you need to find out what their reasoning is for going. Is it going to be food? Is it going to be the rides? Is it going to be just to go into each of the portals? So we have so much of those things to talk about. So I think probably the best way to do it is just kind of narrow down and talk about each of the portals individually, Kayla. And I think Kayla and I have the same kind of thought process on Isle of Berk. So why don't we go with Mario Land first?
I
Because
like
I
it. I
think
like
that
it.
we'll talk about that very, very honestly. It's obviously very popular. There are a lot of people that are extremely excited about it. Uh, for me, it's very loud. So when we went in, I think it is an adorable park. The detail and the attention to detail, the colors, the sounds. My favorite thing, probably my favorite thing, is the way that you go into these portals. I think thinking out of the box and the way that Universal did this was so smart because even though you're going into Epic Universe and then it's taking you to these portals and you're like actually in them, I will say that going into Mario Land is it is super cool. And I can just still hear that like in my mind. I'm gonna let Kayla actually has spent a lot more time in Mario Land than I have, so I'm gonna defer to her on this a little bit. I mean, I'm still more than happy to talk about my thoughts about it in the rides and the merchandise, but um, I'm gonna let you kind of chime in here, Kayla, with what your thoughts are on that land.
Yeah. So, it's actually really interesting. And the more I've talked to people and the more I've been to the park, I think people are going to have such different reactions to the different lands depending on how much you love the IP. So like for me, like my favorite thing is How to Train Your Dragon. That's like my favorite thing ever. So I absolutely love that land. Nintendo is not really my thing. And so going into that land, I was like, I can appreciate how amazing and cool and detailed this is, but it wasn't something that I necessarily connected with. But like my husband really loves Nintendo, and my friends that we went with really love Nintendo, and they were all about this land. And so I think that if that's an IP that you really associate yourself with, that you really enjoy, you will absolutely love this land. So going into the portal, just like to give you a little bit of a visual, because every portal is very different. This one, you immediately go and it's like you're going through the pipe, like the green pipe. And so you'll be going up an escalator
It's
and
like
they
a
do the little
doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah,
pew
and you can
pew
hear
sound.
it.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And we jokingly call this the land of stairs because there are stairs everywhere. So do be prepared for that. But they do have a lot of like accessible entrances and elevators and things. So what I love is that with this portal, you can still have a really cool experience, even if you're not able to do the escalator. So right when you walk in, you go right off to the right and there's like a tunnel. And it's a little bit different than the main pipe, but it still kind of has these cool lighting and sound effects, and it brings you into the land and you still get to have like that kind of cool wow moment. So I do appreciate that even though like there is a lot of stairs, you still get the same experience regardless of your needs that you have. So I love
To
that.
say, and the first time we were with Nadia, who is our director of marketing, and watching her, Nintendo was like her thing. Mario was her thing as a child, and watching her walk in and just experience it, that was exciting for me
Hmm.
because I think it really did make her feel like she was in one of those games that she played as a child. So I do think that the theming and the immersion is definitely, even for someone that isn't like a video game person, I
Yeah.
appreciate. I
But
mean, and I think,
it does feel like you're stepping into a video game, right? And
oh,
right, like the
yeah,
thing is,
Yeah.
for sure, for
we
sure.
can 100% admit that Universal has Super Nintendo in other parks. They have them over in the Asia parks, they have them in the California park. So some people have seen certain aspects of this. However, there are some very unique features to it as well. But like just walking in and the video game that you used to play on your screen as a child, like I'm probably dating myself at this point, but like I remember the first time I walked in California thinking, how immersive, how amazing is this? And again, I'm not a big personal video game person, but you still appreciate the details of it all and how amazing it is. Like it
And
just
I think
The
that also
character.
Yeah, I was going to say that brings up a great point of the immersion. So in every land, there is an interactive element. And in this land, you have the power-up bands, which they do the power-up bands in some of the other parks. But we did, I myself did not have one, but the friend that I went with, she did have her power-up band and she was showing me how it works. And it's basically like a little rubber bracelet that you wear, and you have the little question boxes and the coins, but there's also games that you can play. So there will be like projections on the wall and you can do all this stuff. But as you're doing it, there's like a thing in the app that you can do where you're collecting like stickers and badges and like digital prizes and things like that. So that's really a very cool element. I think you'll kind of hear us talk a little bit more about these interactive elements, but I almost feel like you really need to have one, or at least have one person in your group that has one.
The
Just
power-up
because
band?
yes, the power-up
Yeah.
band. There was so much I wanted to do in that land, but I did not have a power-up band. So we didn't
Amy,
end up
didn't
getting to do it. But it was
you
so
have
fun
a
to
power
watch
up
everyone do
band
it.
Yep,
when
I
we were
have,
in
yes.
California?
Yep, I have a power band and I used it in California, and it is.
That's what I
It's
thought.
like it's a really cool experience because it lets you truly interact with the games, and then like both of the parks have it set up that once you've achieved a certain level, so like 3 keys, and then you can go do Bowser's challenge and this kind of stuff. So it like opens more things for you. So can you still have a good time in the land without the power up band? Sure, but it's going to be
Okay,
a
can
much
you
more
two see
interactive
me
experience.
in that land with a power up band? I wouldn't even know what to do. Watching
You
those
were okay when
kids,
we did it in California. Like,
those kids it's my favorite part, watching these little kids like master these games in their bands. But I
we'll
was
get you a Princess Peach one, and I bet
oh,
you'll rock it
you think
out.
we're gonna try that. I'm gonna
We're gonna
hold you
try it.
to it.
It'd be so fun. But then you also have the rides. So those are things that you can
Yes.
do without your power-up band. However,
Yes.
there are interactive elements in the queues with your power-up band. So that's cool to know. But there are 3 attractions in this land. You've got the Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, which the one in Hollywood does not have. So Donkey Kong Land is kind of like, I think our Nintendo is the biggest Nintendo
Yes.
world, Nintendo Land, whatever you want to call it, because we have that Donkey Kong like expansion. So there's that attraction. There's Yoshi's Adventure, which is kind of just like a very slow moving. You're in the little Yoshi car, just like going on a little track thing. And then you have the
Oh, can we talk? We
Mario
okay,
Kart.
Kayla. Let time out for 2 seconds, because
Oh.
in this podcast we are very honest. And I
Well,
think that
okay.
you could
So yes. So the Yoshi's Adventure, this is definitely your more like kid-friendly attraction. There is a height requirement. I would say that this is not one that I personally would wait in a long line for. The very first time we did it, we ended up accidentally waiting like 40 minutes for this ride because this was during like a team member preview, so way back when things were still, working out kinks. But it went down when we were waiting in the queue. And so we waited a good 40 minutes for that ride, and then we got on it and I was like, wait, that was it?
Like what?
But I think like if you have younger ones, it is kind of fun because
It's
there's
cute.
a game aspect to it. There's like these
I
little
was like,
egg
don't you like hit
buttons.
the eggs as you go by
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't pay attention the first time and I was really confused as to what I was supposed to do. But then the
I
second
just did
time
it
we rode it,
yesterday.
I was like, oh, okay. I see what you're
Yeah, I
supposed to
didn't
do
get it the
now.
first time either. And yesterday in the pouring rain, Chuck and I did it. And yeah,
Yeah.
but I will say, like, the theming is really cool. I mean, especially for
Yeah.
little kids, because you do see Mario and you
I was
see
like, it gives
just
you
the
like an amazing
little
view of Nintendo Land, right?
Yeah, you get like a little bird's eye view as you're kind of going around the corner. And yeah, it is really cute. Like if you're a Yoshi fan and there's like a little toad animatronic at the end, and
So
it is
cute.
very cute. It's not my cup of tea, but you know what
It's
Or
is
if
my
you're
cup
like,
of tea?
hey, I'm not a big coaster person, right? Like,
Yes.
that's a great way
Yeah.
to still get on a ride, feel like you're, utilizing
Mhm.
attractions.
Yeah,
Mhm.
100%. The ride that I did really enjoy in this land was Minecart Madness.
It's so
Um,
cute.
it's very cool. So the way this ride it operates off of a false track. So it is a roller coaster. It's a more family-friendly roller coaster. But you're in a minecart and it's supposed to kind of look like you're in the video game where you're jumping the track a little bit. So the actual track is underneath, and then the track that you see is like the rails that you're going, and that'll be where you jump the track and stuff. It's a really cool effect.
Mhm.
Do know that this is an attraction that it has a very low ride capacity. So the wait times for this are going to be a lot longer, which is why it does not have express. This ride does not include express, but they do have a single rider line. So I would say this is probably going to be one that's better to do earlier in the day as opposed to later, just because the line for that can get very long, but it is a really cool ride.
It is cool.
Be prepared if you have like back issues like that. It is
It's
very
it's pretty
jerky.
jerky.
I think one of
Yeah.
the agents said that this is so bad. One of the agents said that she's like, I felt like I was getting in a car wreck over and over and over again. And I was like, that's kind of funny, but it's kind of accurate.
Yeah.
Like, so if you're okay with that, it's so fun. They have really cool animatronics, but just be warned, like, it is a
You're
very
gonna,
jerky
your
ride.
It's a
body's
little
gonna be,
aggressive. It's a little
yeah.
Yes.
aggressive.
I didn't do it with my back because even watching it scared the bejesus out of me. But people that rode it loved it. You could just tell. And I do think it's worth going back and look because it's kind of off to the side. You go through another little entryway kind of with, I mean, within Mario Land,
Yeah.
but it is really cute. The theming, I really liked that area. I wish that I could have ridden the ride, but um, it was really, really cute though, and a lot of people really liked it. I don't think cute's the word because it's definitely for grown-ups,
I
but it was a
mean,
pretty
it's
cool
cute.
ride.
It's family friendly. It's
Yeah.
there was I saw some younger kids getting on and they were having a blast. It's just
Hmm.
one of those like it's not a gentle ride.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
It's not Yoshi.
Uh-uh.
Right. Yes. They're
That
very,
that
very opposite.
that it's not. Let's be honest. There you go.
And
But
then
then we can talk about obviously that my favorite one is the mine cart.
the Mario Kart.
The
Mario
cart.
Kart.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one is really cool. That
It's
one
like you're
is really
right
cool.
racing.
It really
Do-do-do-do-do.
does feel like you're in the video game. I'm was again, this land can be very overstimulating. It's so cool, but like the whole time, I kid you not, I was like looking around like what am I looking at? Because there's so much going on. But you really feel like you're in the video game. It's kind of cool technology because there's a lot of practical sets, which are like physical sets, and then you have your little visor that
Mhm.
has like the little digital like
I was
people
excited
that
because
it's
when
cool.
Evie and I did the Mario Land in California, I had no clue. Like you're trying to understand it. She was trying to explain it to me, and I'm like, okay. Well, then I was like, game on when we came to the one in Orlando because I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I know how to play this game. And then of course I got the least amount of any of us, but I still felt like I knew more of what I was doing.
How many coins did you get? Do you remember? Because you're supposed to collect coins.
Right,
Like that's kind of the goal of it.
And you can
but
put the coins
honestly,
on your power up band as
Yeah.
well.
oh, I think
Oh, that's cool.
honestly. I think like 30 coins, maybe. Does that sound
No, you had to have gotten more than that. I think I got
Kayla?
123
Right. I think I
because
probably
the
got
goal was
30.
100. The goal is 100 coins. You at least got 100. I do know that.
You think so? I
I
don't
think
remember,
so.
but it was fun. I just pretended I knew what I was doing.
I will say
The
I feel
queue
like
of
that
that is
ride
super cool
is
too.
also one that it's like it's helpful to ride it more than once because the first time that you're riding it, you're trying to figure out what's happening. So like even people who I'm like seeing doing reviews of Epic right now and they're like, I don't get that ride. What is the point of it? And it's like because you need to like it's like when you're first learning a video game, right? Like you might go down one way and it's wrong. And I remember like super oversteering the first time and I kept crashing into the wall, but not really crashing into the wall. I was like, I don't know what's
Huh?
happening right now. So
Isn't it fun? It's
like
just a
it's
way to
super fun
escape
and cute. So
reality.
try to ride it like more than once if you can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The queue of that one was really cool too.
That is, I would agree. And
That
that's
was a
another
really
thing.
immersive one.
Um, one thing that I think Universal does really, really well are their queues. I think they do a really cool job with their queues. I like the queues. I sometimes find myself getting more pictures in the queues than yeah, and we'll talk about, some of the other portals that, man, the theming is just
Mhm.
incredible. But let's talk about, should we talk about food, Kayla?
Okay, before you do that, I just want to make a quick note for everybody who's listening. So, we kind of started with Super Nintendo as well for you to know that this is the portal that opens with early entry. So, if you are a Universal Orlando Resort guest, or if you have some type of ticket pass that includes early entry, please note that that does not include every ticket type. But if you happen to have one that does include early entry, then you are able to access Super Nintendo. And so as long as those rides are up and running, first thing in the morning, those would be like the attractions to head for first if you have that early entry option.
Thank you for remembering that, Amy, because that is something I think if you do want to get strategic, if you're not going to do the express pass. So I did get the express pass for the group when we went. And then I did not do the express pass yesterday when I went with my husband. And I wanted to be able to navigate it both ways to be able to give, some honest feedback on it. And I think if you are staying at the resort and you are able to only get to Mario Kart, that is something to note, even for those that are not staying or getting that extra hour of time. Just in choosing which portal you would decide to go to first, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think if you qualify for early entry, Nintendo can be a really good strategy. If you do not qualify for early entry, that's when I think it might be a better idea. Hightail it somewhere else because it'll be very busy by that regular park open time.
Okay, so now let's talk about food because you all know I get so excited about food.
So-
What food
okay.
is there in Super Nintendo World?
Well, the Toadstool Cafe is really cute.
Yeah.
It is really cute themed, but we're going to defer to Kayla on this.
So I've had exactly one food item in that land. It was at oh my gosh, I can't even talk now. Toadstool Cafe. We got the garlic knots. Very exciting, I know. They are very cute though. They're shaped like little mushrooms, but they're just a really good little garlic knot marinara sauce situation. That Toadstool Cafe is like the main dining location in this land. There are a few other like kind of grab and go type things. Like there's I can't think of the name of it, but it's like the
The
bubbly
bubbly barrel.
bubbly
The bubbly
barrel, and that's
barrel.
where you get that iconic like the Donkey Kong
It's like
sundae
a
thing.
mug. It's like a whole
Yeah, it's like a
mug.
whole
And then it's
mug
got like
and
a
it's
sundae in it.
banana situation. I know they also just opened up the Yoshi snack thing, and they've got really fun drinks. Toadstool Cafe does have a lot of really fun themed food. I would say this might be a better one for pickier eaters, actually, just because the food options are going to be probably the most familiar. They have like burgers. You can get your half-pound meatball. They've got, and it's all
Trying to think if
very
the
cute.
chicken
Like
nuggets
it's
come
very
back yet.
themed.
I don't think they have chicken nuggets,
Um,
but I think they have like a spaghetti something.
Yeah.
So again,
Yes.
like a
Yeah.
spaghetti kids meal. And
Yeah.
Yes.
It is really important to know for pretty much all dining in this park is mobile order. So if you are a Disney person and you're familiar with quick service, this is technically the Universal's version of quick service, but they do mobile order different. I am very mixed on it. It works really well sometimes, and other times, I don't know. When I want a quick thing, like I want to just quick thing, I'm like, oh, I don't want to sit down. But when I do want to have a sit down moment, it is really nice.
Think the thing
Because
that
you're not having to fight for a table.
100%.
Yes, that's the biggest pro with
That's
this is
the
that
biggest.
you are waiting for a table. If there's a line, a lot of times you can just walk up and go and get a table. Then you order your food through the app, through the Universal app, and then they will bring your food to your table.
Yeah. And it's something to notice and you can try to order ahead of time, like while you're in line if you want, and that's fine. But you're not going to be able to click. If you click on here, you have to put your table number in. This is just a little note for people because that's how you learn when we
Mhm.
went
Yeah,
the hard
so it
way.
is important to know,
So you
like,
put your
if you're,
table and then you get your food.
yeah, so it's important to know, like, if you're somebody who typically pays, like, with cash, like, you're not really going to be able to do that super easily. You'll probably have to go, like, buy a gift card and then use your gift card. It's one of those things, like, if you know going into it, it's not a big deal. It's actually very easy to do. But if you don't know going into it, it might throw you off a little bit, especially if you're used to like how Disney mobile order works. So just be aware that all of these, so Toadstool in this land is going to be your mobile order type dining. So
you
there
get to
go.
sit in the air conditioning while you're waiting for the food.
Yes. Yeah. I do love that you don't have to fight for a table.
That's my favorite part. I mean, it truly. And I think they have the most snack places because I think they have like three, and maybe the other lands do, or do too, but I felt like the
Super
snacks
Nintendo
in that
is one
land
of the bigger
was really
lands,
good.
so that would make sense.
There's definitely more things. If you do just want to grab something like that, you can. It's just not going to be like a meal.
But the garlic knots were good, right, Kayla?
They were good. They were very tasty. They were very hot and fresh when they came out. So I was like, okay, well, these are great.
That's what we like. And I think
I
our
wouldn't
agent
go out of
Lauren
your
went.
way.
Like Lauren
for
went
it,
and
but-
she liked the desserts. Like she thought the desserts were really cute and tasty. So
I've heard
she
the
got
desserts are great.
some sort of cake or something. I
Yeah,
don't
there's
know.
like, it's like, okay, when you get to the end of your level in like a classic Mario game and there's the pole with the star and he goes, "Wee." It's that. Like, that's what it looks like. It's really cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what
I should
else we
actually try to play
or-
Nintendo or something.
See, I do know a little bit of Nintendo. I do know.
I think
played
that
it
if
20
you know
years ago.
Nintendo, you're going to enjoy that land more,
Yes.
for sure. One of the things that we should have mentioned too, kind of when we were talking about the attractions, but they do have some cool meet and greets because they do have Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach. Am I missing
Toad.
anybody? Toad. Yes, I forgot about Toad. Toad hadn't been out each time I've been there, but oh man,
Toad is so cute because Toad is so short.
Toad is like, whoop,
like it's so
yay
short.
tall.
You know what's really cool about Mario and Luigi though is they talk,
yes, which is
really cool
different
because the one in Hollywood, like they've kind of done some really cool new stuff with it. So yeah, when you go and meet Mario and Luigi, you can talk to them and they'll talk back.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an interactive space, and it's really, really cool for kids. I think that for little ones, it's going to be one of the more popular spots. I think.
Oh yeah,
But
the kids are gonna
overall,
love that
I think
land.
that they nailed it again. The theming, the colors, everything, right down to like just the specific details. Are
There
pretty cool.
is actually one more character. They have Donkey Kong. You can meet Donkey Kong.
Is he meeting now?
I've seen a video of him once. So I think
I
they're
haven't seen him yet,
they're
but-
starting to get there, but yes,
Okay.
there's supposed to be a Donkey Kong meet and
Okay.
greet.
See,
That's
I think
awesome.
that they really outdid themselves with that area. There's part of me that was like, man, I wish they could have made it, a little bit bigger. But then I think that the whole point of the size of it is for the immersion, so that you do feel like you're inside the game. Then I'm like, that makes complete sense. But yeah, do know that there are a lot of stairs. I mean, we kind of joke about things sometimes, but they do have elevators if you need them. But it is definitely one of the lands where you're going to be going up and down stairs quite a bit. And there's not, when you go up, you're not able to walk all the way like around in a complete circle. So it's kind of like you have to go all the way back up and down. Yeah. So, but overall, I mean, I think it's super cute. And I think it's going to be really popular. So that's kind of my thought on Mario.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it looks
Anything
amazing.
else that, yeah.
Anything else that viewers,
think
listeners need to know,
so.
Kayla, about Super Nintendo?
So this is kind of a silly thing, but this goes for all of the lands. Go in the bathrooms.
Oh,
So every bathroom is highly themed based on the land. So the
Yes.
one in this one, at least the one that we went, it's underwater. So like whenever in the Mario games, you go underwater and there's like the little fish things, and that's the theme of that bathroom. Is really cool.
I love that.
I know that's so silly,
That
but
is
like
so true though.
all
Every
of the
single
bathrooms in
one.
that park are like that. Like they have these
So
really
cool.
cool, highly themed immersive.
That's
But that was
awesome.
definitely that was a really cool bathroom.
Okay, this sounds like a super odd random question, but does this mean, are there bathrooms in every single portal?
Yes.
Like
Oh,
at least
yes.
one set of bathrooms?
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent.
Yes.
See,
Yes. Yes.
we're telling you all the important details.
There are
friends.
definitely, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
which also brings up a good point. This is just kind of in general is they really thought about the fact that this park is in Florida and it's hot here. And there are water fountains all over the place. They are in the ride queues, they're in the lands. There's the Coke Freestyle machines where you can get free water. So do bring a water bottle because there is water everywhere, which is wonderful. I appreciate that so much. So, yeah.
That's a
Okay,
great tip.
that's awesome. But speaking of, while we're on this topic, anyway, speaking of bringing a water bottle, bringing things like a backpack, what is the locker slash ride situation in
This
Epic?
is enough.
Oh,
Because
so
my
happy
understanding
about
is it's
this.
very, very different from the other
Yes.
parks.
It
Oh,
is
it's
the best.
wonderful.
And there could be some lessons learned on this because I think it is so efficient and
I love it.
Yeah.
Tell us,
yeah,
tell us why.
yeah.
Why? What makes this new?
So for the lockers, the thing that's really cool is one of the other things that I think Universal has really kind of transitioned to and does a really cool job is when you go into the park, they take your picture and basically you're in.
Mhm.
So when you go to get the lockers, you basically look into this little thing,
Camera.
screen, whatever, camera. You can't really look, doesn't look like a camera, but you're right, it is a camera. Todd's gonna have to bleep that.
I hope he leaves it.
Okay. When you go, the really cool thing is when you go to the little locker situation, um, they have, and there's usually, I think, like four, kind of depends, I guess, on the ride, four like banks of them, and they have like cameras that you literally put your eyes in, and then shows your picture, and you click, yep, that's me, and then the locker just opens, and then you just pop your stuff in, and you go about your business. And then once you get off the ride, you go look in the little thing, and it pops open again. It's
Yeah.
fabulously cool.
And
You
they're
don't have to remember what
larger.
your locker
They
number
are
is
big.
because they're going to
They're
open
larger lockers.
automatically.
So
Yeah, there are several people that had like multiple backpacks.
you could fit a full-sized, obviously, like maybe not like a stuff to the brim backpack, but like you could fit a full-size backpack in there. And also, like, we were able to fit our water bottle standing up. So if you have a popcorn bucket or a water bottle or a freestyle cup, they do prefer that you dump those out. Like they do still prefer that you dump those out because that is not a great situation for
Please don't
anybody.
pour that in the lockers. Yeah.
But you can have it standing up. So that is super nice. And even like if maybe your party, you have a couple people and you all have like more like a little smaller fanny pack or something, you all can use one locker instead of taking up a whole bunch. The other thing about these lockers that's really cool is that they are mid queue. So, for example, at Universal Studios, when you go to ride Gringotts, you have to go to this separate area where the lockers are, and it is always so chaotic because everybody's putting their stuff in there and everybody's getting their stuff out. You have to put your stuff in there and then go in the ride. And so, if you're in line for the ride, like you aren't going to have your stuff for pretty much any of the queue.
For an hour plus if you're in queue. Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you're somebody who like maybe you have medical needs where you need to have like a snack on hand or you need to have water on hand, like that can be a little bit difficult. But at the new park at Epic, you will have your bags and things with you for pretty much most of the queue. And the lockers typically like you're going to be waiting like maybe 10 minutes or less after you've dropped your stuff off at the locker. So I adore that. And they're like one-way lockers. So you're putting your things in on the one side, and then when you exit the ride, you're actually pulling your things out from the back side of the locker. You can opt out of the facial recognition stuff. I know that's something that people maybe don't always love. I love it. I think it's great. But if that's something you don't love, you can talk to a team member and they have like little cards and stuff that you can use. So that is great. Additionally to ride lockers, there's also park lockers. They work and operate exactly the same. The difference is that the park lockers are not free, whereas the ride lockers are free. But they have park lockers at the very, very front of the park, pretty much like in between. So like you've scanned into the park, but you haven't gone through the big Kronos Tower yet. So they have lockers there, and then they also have lockers at each concierge station. So out front of each portal is a big kiosk little building thing that's concierge. There's lockers on the backside of all of those. So lots of options
Excellent.
for lockers.
That's
Yes, they
awesome.
do. They do.
Do you know, Kayla, or Amy, like are there any attractions specifically in like Super Nintendo where people don't have to put their bags in a locker, like that they can actually keep their bags with them?
You will keep your bags with you on all of 3 of those rides.
Okay.
Mhm.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So you'll just put your your bag at your feet. So obviously, like if you have a ton of stuff, just be aware that you are going to be riding with things. I know we rode Minecart Madness and I had just bought some of those Starbucks mugs. And so I'm like holding
Like-
those between my feet and I'm like, oh goodness. It was fine. It was no
It's
big
like you
deal.
need to find a
Everything
cushion for
survived,
'em.
but do think about that a little bit. Just know that on those rides in particular, you will have your bags with you.
That's a good note. Excellent. Okay, I think it's time to talk about what might be all 3 of our favorite area, maybe, but let's talk about Isle of Berk, which is the How to Train Your Dragon area. Let's kick it off by talking about the rides that are in this area.
Well, I think we should kick it off by talking about the portal and
Do it.
walking in. I mean, and just walking in and seeing the Isle of Berk. I mean, it is right out of the movie. 100% you feel like you are there. Would you? Okay,
Yeah, I mean so this is set
oh,
between the second and third movie. And so you're walking through the portal and when you look at the portal, they have all the dragons, little details, and there's like the little spinning ball that has Toothless that like or a Night Fury, but it's Toothless that goes around and then you walk through and then there's this big stone that I can't remember the exact words, but I know I have like pictures and videos of it, but it basically is like this is Berk, blah 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 blah. And then you turn around this stone and then that's when you see the beautiful blue water and the 2 like big statues. And what if you pay attention, one of them is a Viking and one of them is a dragon, because in the first movie they like, or first or second, I can't remember, but they knock one of those down and so they've rebuilt it as a dragon because now they live in harmony. And they also light up fire at night, which is kind of cool. So
Amy,
it's just
the
a
land
really
is
cool, it's a
beautiful, but
really cool
it
reveal.
it is
I've
beautiful.
seen so many pictures. I know
I
pictures just don't do it justice
no
yet. Like,
no
Well, and
I
they play the movie score. So you're walking in and you hear that
to the
iconic song and you're just like immediately tears
yeah.
down your
yes,
face.
yes, I would agree. I would agree with Kayla on that
Yeah.
completely.
And it's
So yeah, I
definitely
mean,
the biggest, like most sprawling land. Like it's a very huge, like it's very sprawling. So it has that very grand feel
it
walking in.
feels like yes, yeah.
Mhm.
So we can definitely talk about attractions, but I'm like, we have to talk
I
about
love
like
it. I love it.
walking through the portal and that whole experience. And then, yeah, we can talk about the attractions and then we can talk about the characters, the meet and greet, because the characters are
Mhm.
unlike anything I've ever seen at any park ever. So, yeah, we can talk about the attractions for sure. And I think I know I've ridden all of the rides. So you too, right, Kayla? Because we did the
Mhm.
water one together too. So yeah, we can talk about each of those. Which one do we want to talk about first? The hiccups, the wing gliders. That was probably honestly my husband's favorite ride in the
There you go.
entire Epic universe. He loved it, and I could see it. It really was, and it's one of you while you're riding, but then you can hear Hiccup talking to you and kind of taking you through the ride, and oh, it's just so transformative.
So
Like
the
you
best
feel like
way,
you're.
yeah, the best way to describe that ride is like a baby Hagrid's. So it's not as intense. Like it's a
Mm-mm.
family coaster. It's very family
Hmm.
friendly. It's very smooth, but it has those storytelling elements
Okay.
that
I'm like Hagrid's. I might be out.
yes. No, so
No,
like
you
if
can do
you've
it.
ridden
You can do it,
Hagrid's
Amy.
and you know like because you have like the animatronics and there's like like it's you're going through the different areas and whatever that type of element is in this attraction. And I don't want to spoil all of it because there are some really cool surprises, but like there is a toothless animatronic. That's really cool. It's so fun. And I've actually done this in the daytime and nighttime. I thought I would like daytime better. I actually liked riding this one at night. Like we did it right at like sunset because there's a lot of light effects that you don't see during the day. And there's like one particular part that I was like, this is so cool. So if you can ride it twice, definitely maybe pop back once it starts to get a little darker over there because it's really cool. But I think that's been a ride that I think has been everyone's favorite just as far as it's just fun. Like it's a really
Mhm.
fun and really well done ride that anybody can enjoy. It's got enough thrill without being too
Yes, and
scary. It's
oh
not
yeah.
scary. There's no big drops or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Storytelling.
it's
It's just
so
the
cool.
whole, it really was my husband's favorite ride. Like he was definitely one of his favorite rides in all,
Yeah.
any like theme park that he's done. So
That's awesome.
And
it
the
was a lot
ride
of fun.
vehicle is really comfortable. Like it's just your
Yes.
traditional
Yes.
roller coaster with the little lap bar type thing. It's a very comfortable seat. You're not like dangling or anything like that. So even
That's
though
good.
it's Hiccup's wing gliders, you're not wing gliding.
No, because at first I'd heard that and I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think that just the attention to detail again and the attention that they put into making you feel like you're part of the movie or like it's so immersive. And I know I've said that so many times, but it's just the way I think of Epic is immersive, just an immersive experience. So I really liked that.
This is also something that I wanted to talk about as far as the queues and things. So this one is probably less themed, but something I love about every attraction in this park is that there is tons of shade. Every single queue, you are not standing in the sun. There's like maybe in that ride in particular, there's maybe like a little portion right at the beginning that's unshaded, but all of that queue is shaded. There's fans. Again, there's water refill stations and water bottle or like water fountains everywhere. So like the nice thing is that even though maybe sometimes you might be waiting in a long line, you're not going to be in the direct sun, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Because that is a pretty open, like the land itself is a pretty
It
open
is.
area, right? So
It
like
is. It is.
there's a lot of direct sunlight in the land area.
This is one I recommend doing first thing in the morning, like earlier in the day or later in the day. I would not do this as your middle of the day land just because a lot of sun. And it's definitely the most open for sure.
So I can say, so then when you are in the hot sun and you feel like you're sweating to no goodness, you can ride is it Fryer Drill? Am I saying that right?
Fire
Drill?
drill. It's
Fire.
fire.
But they
They
spell
spell
it
it with a
like
Y.
With a Y.
and so yeah, and
Fire drill.
I kept calling it like Fryer. Everyone kept saying, Amy, what are you talking about? I'm like, that water ride. But that ride was so much fun. We got so drenched. And we were laughing so hard though, because it was fun though. Don't you think, Kayla? We were
Oh, it was
soaking
so
wet.
fun. It was so fun. So you're hitting targets, but you can also squirt the people in the other boats. And so there was this kid in the boat ahead of us that the
Oh,
whole time
he
they were squirting me right in my face.
right in the
And so
face.
I couldn't open my eyes because there was just water in my face. And so I couldn't really like see what I was doing. It was really cool because like you get to hit all the little targets and they move and like that aspect is so cool. But I was like, oh my gosh, I need this kid to quit
It's like
squirting
I
me in the
can't
eyeball.
see.
Like I
I
need
can't
goggles or
see.
We were
something.
screaming the whole time. It was so fun. I was drenched. Like I
That
was
kid had the perfect aim. Like he
absolutely
knew what
drenched.
he was doing.
Yeah.
It
Oh
was
yeah.
so
Yes.
funny.
Yep. Yes. Oh, it
Yeah.
was so fun. They do have dryers too. You do have to pay for them, but
Yes.
they do have like the
Yes.
little dryer stations, which we
Yeah.
definitely took
We
advantage
did.
of.
Yes,
But
we
again,
did.
if you're going to be in the hot Florida sun
It's true.
anyway, right? Like
It
start your
was cute.
morning
It
in
was
Yes.
there, make that one
just
your last
know,
ride, and then
yeah,
walk
Yep.
around and
just
dry
know
off.
that
Oh yeah.
it's definitely not like a you might get wet. No, I
Like you
mean, no,
will,
you're going to
You
get
will.
drenched.
You will get
Yeah,
soaked.
not as much as Popeyes got us, but pretty
It
close
was
to
pretty
it.
close. And you can watch
Yeah.
people too. Like I love that there's lots of places. There's one little restaurant that has like outdoor seating that you can sit and you can just watch people go by and just watch them scream and just get soaked.
Mhm.
is
It's
there
so funny. Oh, it's amazing. It was
It
really
was
cool.
fun. It was a
And
lot
you
of fun.
and that's one's nice because I think we had 6 in our party that did it, and all 6 I think the boat sits 6. So it's nice that we all were able to like sit in a boat together. That was fun.
No, I agree. Because I think, was that the one Mark Alan sat out on because of the camera? But
Yes.
we were
Yeah.
all able to sit together, which really was nice. Yeah.
Yeah. That was
And
fun.
then the other one is,
It's called Dragon Racer Rally.
and I was very nervous about this one because
Did you
I
ride it,
don't
Amy?
do well. Yes. And I was super nervous that I thought I'd be like, it'd be too spinny. And so this was one of my phone a friends. When I did, I called Kayla and we're like, I'm a little nervous about this. What do you think? And she said, you can do it. Like, you can definitely do it. And it was really, really cute. And you can try to, what it is you're holding on and you can try to flip yourself over. I've not seen anybody do that. And even like Chuck just couldn't get it to go. And Kayla, you've done it a couple times now, right? And
No, I
it's
actually didn't ride that ride.
okay.
I
You didn't
chickened
ride
out.
that ride,
I don't
and
love
you
things
told
that
me yesterday that I could
spin.
ride that ride.
I know. Okay, but I also like I can't ride Dumbo. Like I can't do rides that spin like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to do it then.
But Mark
But
Allen did, and I watched him do it, and he was also having a hard time. I think if he did it again, he'd probably be able to do the barrel rolls because there's kind of like a
yes,
trick to it. Like you have to do it at like a certain time, and you can do
yes,
it, but it's very hard. So like if you don't want to go crazy and spin upside down and do all that, you don't have to. You can
that's
just
what
do
I
it.
liked
And it
about it.
only goes
Yeah,
around like 4 times. So
yeah, super
it's not
quick.
like a super long like whatever. It's super fun. I might do it someday. I just at that moment I was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Kayla's in so much trouble right now. You guys have no idea. Like, I am trying to really keep this together right now.
I did
Hmm.
wait in the queue and I almost did it, but then I was just
Hmm.
like, "No, I'm good."
Uh-huh. I
But
think I could
Amy,
read
you
you the
did it.
text that I did do it.
You
Yes,
did
I did
it.
do it. And it was fun. And it wasn't crazy. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun. Yeah. Another one, the theming. Super, super cute. The theming is really, really cute. Um, I will say, man, I don't want to say, I think everything in that land is my favorite, but there's a show that
Mm.
is
Mhm.
the Untrainable Dragon show. So we were able to see just half of it because it is still technically it's in previews. And I don't even know what happened, but something happened and they had to shut it down completely. But, and it's not a spoiler because the pictures and stuff have been everywhere, but we were able to see Hiccup and Toothless fly, like they flew into the show. There is something to be said about just the music and the costumes and then watching him come in and this like you just feel like you're a part of it, and it's not like it's a cartoon anymore. It's
Mhm.
the real deal, like you're really a part of the real. It was really, really cool, so I can't wait to go back and hopefully see that show, the full show, because I was very impressed in the little that we saw with the voices and the costumes, and it was really good.
Well, what's funny is we saw the show, but Toothless was out playing with the other dragons that day, so we didn't see Toothless, but we did get to see the whole show.
Oh,
But like the dragon that's the untrainable dragon, that is so cool. Like it looks real. It looks real. Like the movement, it it like spreads its wings and it's so huge. Like it takes up the entire stage. That's how like it's so big, but just the fluidity of the movement and the materials that they used to make this dragon, it looks real and it was so cool. And I also love that they sing live.
yes.
It's not like a
And it
recording. Like they
was
actually
so
sing.
good.
There's
Yeah.
drummers, there's like it's really cool. It's a really well
It's a
done
vibe
show.
and
Yeah.
you can feel it.
Very big warning though. If you are sensitive to fog, like artificial fog, do
Mm.
not go see that show because they fill the entire theater with
Yes.
fog. Like
Okay.
very,
Yes.
very thick. It's cool. It's a really cool effect because you're supposed to like it's like you're flying,
Hmm.
but it's very thick. So if you have a
Mm.
sensitivity to that, do be warned. Like it's intense. It's a lot of
Hmm.
smoke. So
Okay.
yeah.
And it is loud. If you're someone that's sensitive to sound, and even if you have like your earplugs, I would definitely wear them. because it was really loud, but in the best way. I mean, it was just a live performance. It was incredible. Yeah, I
How
was
long
really
is that show?
impressed.
I
I
want to
want to
say maybe like
say
20-ish
20
minutes.
Okay,
It's
minutes.
not super long. Yeah, it's
excellent.
pretty
Mm-mm,
quick.
mm-mm. And
Yeah.
the seating, there's a ton of seating, and it's
Mhm.
air conditioned. But I mean, you feel like everyone was kind of like rushing in, thinking that they weren't going to get a spot, but it filled a
Honestly, you almost
large
kind of want
amount
to
of.
sit further back because you want to be able to
Yes,
see Toothless fly. So,
yeah, I would
Mm,
agree.
hmm
Yeah,
I
and we
like
were
that.
like right in the middle. Yeah, so that was one of my favorite things for sure. And a must do. Like if you're going to go and you're kind of trying to pick and choose, definitely make that a choice because it was worth it.
one of my favorite things in the land, it wasn't even like a ride or anything. It's just the dragons in this land. Like when I say that the land is dripping in dragons, it literally is dripping in dragons because obviously you have them in the rides. You have the toothless meet and greet, which we'll talk about in a second, but you also have all these animatronics that are in the land for no reason
Yeah.
whatsoever other than to just add ambiance to this land, and they look so real. It's so
And they
cool.
sound and they sound so
Yeah.
real.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like my favorite is above the treat shop. Right above the treat shop near the forge, there's it's Stormcloud, I think is its name. It's Hiccup's mom's dragon. But there's like its head is like there and it's moving around. It looks so
So
real.
real.
It's so cool.
So
Like
Oh
real.
my gosh.
I just stood there for like a solid 10 minutes just staring at this thing because it was amazing. But they have stuff like that all over the park. They have little baby dragons that move.
Yes.
You have like a big Gronkle over in the forge where you can meet Gobber and he's like taking a nap and he'll like make noises and stuff. And oh my gosh, it's so cool. Like that is
This is
my
the thing
favorite
where
part of that land.
when we were talking about like picking and choosing what you're going to do and when you're in the lands
Mhm.
and do you need 1 day or do you need 2 days? This is the reason that you need 2 days because Isle of Berk itself, I mean, we spent a couple hours there the day that we went, and I think we could have spent even more because of the detail. If you're going to try the rides, that's one thing. If you're going to just walk around and just look at every single detail, that's another. The food, the show, the characters. So I just think overall, all of those little, exactly what Kayla's talking about, just the little things that you don't even know you're there if you're hustling to get to a ride.
You're walking into the gift shop and you see the little baby night lights sleeping above the register, and
Yeah,
you're just like, oh
it's
my
so
gosh, it's
cool.
so
It's so
cute.
cool. Yeah, they
I
did
love it.
another fantastic job. Just whoever designs that and the detail is just incredible.
You know what
Oh,
else Universal does so well? Playgrounds. They have the coolest playground in this land. It's called Viking Training Camp.
yes. Yeah.
So this is like Fish Legs is he made this thing, this training camp, and there's like different levels depending on like how old your kids are, like which is really cool. So you have like at the bottom, you have like your class one or something like that, and they have like little baby slides and like little baby gronkles that you can play on, and then you can go up a level, and then they have like these gongs that you can hit and drums and like then you can go up another level and there's places to climb and there's these big slides and oh my gosh, that like if you have kids, they will go and they'll play in there for hours and hours and hours. It's all shaded. It's super shaded. Again, there's water fountains everywhere and the ones in this land are like super cute and themed.
The
There's lots of
bathrooms too. The
benches.
bathrooms
Yeah.
are really cool in there
Yeah.
too.
There's tons of benches in that area. So if your parents, like you as the parent, would like to just like sit and chill for a little bit and let your kid go run off, there you'll be able to sit in some shade, which is wonderful.
Mm.
So cool. I know I'm an adult, but I had a lot of fun like wandering around through there and exploring it. It was really cool.
That's
There were
amazing.
so many kids and they're just having a great time. Just watching other people's reactions are always my favorite. I know I talk about that a lot with whatever I feel like destination we're talking about, but I don't know if it was just because I love How to Train a Dragon or if it was so nostalgic for me because my younger boys loved it so much that watching parents with their kids and just being so immersed in the entire uh, land. It was just pretty awesome. But yeah, that leads us
Jaws are
to
dropped the whole
honestly
time.
was like, we
talking
gotta talk
about like
about.
these meet and greets. Yeah, I was a hot mess when I was able to see, and we'll let Kayla talk about her experience too, because I mean, as much as I love her, that made me emotional because those of us that do know Kayla, she's doesn't show a ton of emotion, and so that experience for her was special. So I won't take that from her. But watching, my youngest, who's now 20, and there we have How to Train Dragon is just a special thing for our family, especially our
Mhm.
younger boys. And Sarah, who we talk about on our podcast quite often, who's very special to our family, that was the last movie that she took our boys to see, was the third one, was our younger boys. So that was an even like deeper connection to kind of feeling like we take her with us everywhere we
Mhm.
go. And watching Josh meet Toothless for the first time. I mean, seeing Toothless the first time, I was just had chills.
Mhm.
And then seeing him in this interaction is unlike anything. There's a long wait, but there's a long wait for a reason. It's because they do not rush people through, and they allow you to have this authentic experience. You are not pushed to go. The staff there, the cast members are part of this experience with you.
Mm.
And watching Josh like reach to touch Toothless the first time, like I just started like sobbing. It was just thinking of my little boy who's 20 years old living out meeting this character from
Mhm.
his childhood. And it was like it makes me teary even thinking about it. And then even my interaction with Toothless and the conversation and the time, and Josh's girlfriend was with us, and then Kayla and Mark Alan were with us, and they had already been and had an experience, but to have them there and experience that with us and be able to watch just their excitement and emotion, watching us get so excited and just the emotion from it, it's just so crazy how something like that can bring so many people together.
Mm.
But that experience is just not to be missed. We were so fortunate that we were able to get Hiccup and um, Toothless, which Hiccup kind of rotates out sometimes with different. Is it just a different character,
They're
like
just
a
Vikings.
Yeah,
different
They're
just
just like
various
the
Viking?
regular
Vikings.
Vikings.
And so
Hmm.
we were just super fortunate that we were going to see Toothless, and we waited in line we did wait a long time, about an hour and a half. And this is one thing Kayla and I kept saying, how long is it going to be before Universal like actually does build, because that's such a popular queue, and it is incomplete, like you are in the sun,
That's
like
like the one of the only
completely
cues that you will
like
probably be in sun
sun.
for a little bit.
Okay.
So then just as we are getting ready to go up to meet Toothless, in comes Hiccup. And so it made it even more special. And these characters have the actors have these characters down pat. I
Mhm.
mean, even meeting oh, my mind is blank and I'm so embarrassed because I love her. The girl,
Astrid.
oh my
Hmm.
gosh, I feel horrible because I got to meet her yesterday because
Oh
I hadn't
yeah,
met her yet.
yeah.
And just these interactions and the amount of these character type interactions throughout that whole epic universe, that is something that they've
Mhm.
brought back. And that just makes, even as adults watching kids and taking you back your own, it's just unbelievable. Uh, just those character interactions. So to me, that was very emotional in the best way. And I don't know, even thinking about it now, I still can get like just a little emotional about, I don't know, feeling like you can't explain it. You can't explain the way he feels. You can't explain the way he communicates with you, even though he can't talk. He definitely communicates with his eyes and his sounds. And Hiccup does this amazing job of like translating for him. And it was just, it was so immersive. Kayla, you can, share your meet with them too. I mean, it was so cool.
Yeah. So, something that my husband Mark Allen, like he's been talking a lot about this park is, so we live in Orlando. We are Orlando locals. And so we see like the billboards all the time. Well, they have one Universal billboard that says, like, it's more than magic, it's real, which is kind of a, but I love it because when you're walking around that park, like that was all he kept saying all day. He was like, this is just like, it feels more than magic. Like this just feels real. And that's really one of the best ways to describe what that doing that meet and greet is like you don't like you have watched that movie and you've watched that scene a million times and you just like you have that moment, you're like you've wanted nothing more than to be able to just like have that moment where you could be there and you get to have that moment. And every single person gets to have that moment. And I love watching everybody do it because you can see it on their faces, just that realization. Like it's so cool. And like that was the number one thing that I wanted to do. And we actually didn't get to do it the very first time that I went. We kind of just like ran out of time, so we didn't end up getting to do it. So I was a little sad because that was like the thing I wanted to do the most. So when me and Mark Allen went, the second time, just the two of us, that was where we made a beeline for because I was like, we are doing this today. And I lost it. Like I was ugly crying. I had to go compose myself in the bathroom afterwards because it was just like, I was like, it was this moment, just so hyped up. And you do like, it was so cute because like we had this whole thing. So I was actually wearing this shirt and Toothless like freaked out and Hiccup's like, oh, no, 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 it's okay. It's okay. He was like, your shirt just reminds him of an eel. Like, and he doesn't like eels. And like, it was this whole thing. And so like Mark Allen got to pet Toothless. And he was like, okay, let's see. He was like, let's see if this will do it. He's like, all right, bud, she's a friend. And it was so cute. It was so cute. And like he feels real. Like he doesn't feel like
You
what you
can't explain it.
think. Like
Mm-mm.
it's so cool. It's one of the coolest meet and greets that you will ever do. Like even if you're not super into How to Train Your Dragon, just getting to watch people who are like it's really cool. And yeah, really the characters are just amazing. Some of
They're
my other favorites
unbelievable.
in that land, like we got to talk to Gobber. Hilarious, amazing, so good. And then Rough Nut and Tough Nut are
Oh my
also
gosh,
They
they
are
look
they are
hilarious.
hysterical.
hilarious.
When we were talking to
So
Gobber,
funny.
I think it's I can't remember who is who, but the brother, he came over and then they were like interacting with each other and like interacting with it. It was so funny. Oh my gosh, they're so good and they're just like it's very believable. Like you believe that they are that person.
Oh, no, and
Yeah.
that's what I said to I kept saying like, no, these are real people. Like
Mhm.
it's real. It's not
Yeah.
pretend.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The interactions were incredible. It was, yeah,
Yeah. Very, very cool.
it was
So
really
amazing.
cool.
Oh,
And I love the way
so
that they
excited for
kind
it.
of meander through that land too. Like they don't really have an assign where Hiccup and Toothless have like an assigned spot, but Astrid, she kind of walks around and talks to people, and sometimes her dragon is with her. I have not seen her dragon with her yet.
I know she comes out occasionally. I think it's just kind of
Yeah,
they're still, we're still in previews, so
yeah,
but
yeah. No,
I do love that the Toothless meet and greet you do have to wait in line for, but all of the other characters are roaming. So you could just
yeah, I loved
go
it.
say hi and go interact with them. And I love that. I love that so much.
Yes.
And you even have the little baby dragons.
Yes. Oh
Mm.
my
Those things are cool because again, they just look
God.
very real. I can't
Hmm.
remember their
A
names.
lot
They're
of
called
Vikings
they're
just kind
called
of
the
walking
night lights. So
around.
they're night lights because Toothless is a night fury and then the mom is a light fury. So the babies are night lights because
That's
they're
so
like black and white.
cute.
They're so
So
cute.
cute.
They're
And
so
they are
cool.
so cute. They are
They do like a
so
whole
cute.
like interactive thing. It's very cute. So yeah, the characters, honestly, the characters in any of the lands are really what brings these lands to life, but
Hmm.
it's so cool. So cool.
Yep. And it's one of those things that you have to truly experience. You can watch it and think, oh, that's really cool. But to be able to experience it is totally different.
Yeah.
Time to talk about
The
food.
food.
I
The
think that
food.
this land has probably some of the best food. It's really good. There's
Yeah.
there's three main options. You've got Mead Hall, which is your fast casual where you go and you sit down and you mobile order your food. I jokingly like to say like this is like IKEA because they serve like the Swedish meatballs. And so like
I
it's
heard
very
they're
much
good though.
yeah, so it's like Norwegian style food. I've heard the food there is really good. We didn't eat any of the food there. I did get the mead, which is like special to that land. It's like huckleberry flavored. If you're not familiar with mead, it's like a honey wine is kind of what mead is. So it's like a very, very sweet wine. Really good. Liked that. But that was the only thing that we got from there. Then you have Grog and Gruel, which is like the viral place. This is where you get the famous mac and cheese cones. And
Oh
yes,
I'm
boy.
already
Oh,
dreaming about
are
this.
they are as good as they
oh,
look.
Mm.
The PB&J one is like pulled pork and something else I can't remember, but it's more
Bacon
like of a sweet maybe. No, wait. Maybe. I can't remember what the
and
it's
jam or
not
something like,
it's
right?
not peanut butter and
It's not
jelly.
peanut butter and
It's not,
jelly.
but it is a sweeter
It has like a
option.
jam or something on it
I
though, right?
think so. I think it does.
It's like pork, bacon, and jam, I
Maybe
think.
that's what it is. Yeah. We didn't try that one, but that one's more of a sweeter one. We did
yeah.
the fire dragon, which is like hot honey chicken. It was so good. I like that one. What I love is the mac and cheese itself is amazing, but they actually like layered. So like we had like chicken, mac and cheese, chicken, mac and cheese. Like it was all throughout the cone. It wasn't just on top. And then the cone is like garlicky and fluffy and warm. And oh my gosh, it's so
And
good.
you can eat it. You can eat
Yes.
it.
Yes, you can.
Mm.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So if you
It's
like bread,
walkable. Yeah, it's walkable. They've actually started to serve it at Spitfire Grill, which is the third food location, which Spitfire Grill is kind of like your grab and go, more true quick service. So you can go up, order at the window, get your food, and walk away.
okay.
You can also mobile order there. The food there is really good. We did eat the food there. They have like bowls. So like I got their bowls. So it's more like you have meat on a stick and then it has like stuff. So we got the salmon bowl. The salmon was cooked really well. And then it had like ancient greens, which is like a quinoa type situation underneath. And then you have these like roasted tomatoes that go with it. So actually it was really good. That one is not spicy. The other two that you can get are spicy. There's a chicken one and a shrimp one. The shrimp is kind of more of almost like a sweet, like pineapple-y Polynesian spicy. And then the chicken one is more just like a traditional, like spicy with rice and stuff. They were all really good. But I've heard that they've started doing the mac and cheese cones over there as well because the Grog and Gruel line because these are very popular, the line has started to get very long for those. So just be aware if you are wanting to get those, you might have a little bit of wait.
That's a
So
long wait.
check both.
But it is funny. You can see everybody walking around with their mac and,
Mhm.
cheese.
How big are these cones? Like,
Oh, they're huge. I mean,
they're
they're
like bigger than your face,
huge.
right?
They're
Mhm.
huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I would say they're very they're a very good shareable snack or a meal for one person. I would
Okay.
say like that, like you could
That's cool.
definitely
I
make
think
it a
that's a
meal if
good,
it's just yourself, but if you're sharing, it's definitely like it's a good shareable snack.
Okay.
yeah,
So,
that's a good, I would say
mhm.
that's a good,
Nice.
I should say analogy. That's not really what it is. That's a good take on that, Kayla.
Yes.
Yeah, I would definitely say the food. It is the land, not to miss. It lived up to every expectation I had, even more.
There is also How to Treat Your Dragon, which is the sweet shop.
Oh,
And I didn't try
yes.
any of the sweets in there, but there was a lot of really yummy looking sweets. Because they have like brownie pops and
Hmm.
macarons and like all kinds of stuff like that in there. So if you want something sweet, that's a really good place to go. They have some good stuff in there.
I'm just gonna spend my whole time eating.
I
You
could
wouldn't
Eating
have
and
legit
it.
meeting characters.
Hmm.
I could absolutely spend an entire day just in that land. I think the
I
first day that
agree.
we did it, we spent at least 4 hours in that land, just that land. And then when we went back with Amy, I think we ended up spending another like 3 or 4 hours in that land, and there's
Yeah.
still more there that I want to do. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, this is probably the land I feel like, because again, it's very big and very spread out, and there's a lot of things to do in this land.
Yes.
This is one that I think you may end up spending more time in just because there's more things to experience. So there you go.
When you
I
have to
love
think about,
it.
like, if there's so many wandering characters, right? Every time you
Mhm.
interact with a character, it's going to be a unique experience every single time. So
Yes.
even if you meet Astrid 4 times, every time that
Yes.
you meet Astrid, it's going to be a different experience each time. So it's like,
And
just
you
keep
may not
going,
catch
just keep
all
going
of
back.
them
Yeah.
every time. Like
Right.
it took us all 3 trips in order to finally like find all the characters.
Mhm.
Just because again, like we were doing other stuff. We were heading to rides, we were eating eats, and so those are those kinds of things that again, like you kind of have to determine how in depth into these lands that you want to do to
Mhm.
determine like how many days you should spend here. Because like if those characters are really important, like it can take a while to make sure you go and track them all down. So like you may want to have a couple days so that you have the option to spend more time in those lands and things like that. So
Which is also, our little plug for why you should book with a travel agent because they're Goofy Getaways. I'm telling you, that's why we've put a lot of time into this park and learning as much as we can about it and going to explore it because it is exceptional. And I think there's so many different ways to go about it. Wouldn't you say, Kayla? You've done it 3 times in different ways. I mean, what your approach is going to be essential to making sure you get out of it everything you want to get out of it, especially if you only have one day.
I think that's why having that travel agent is so important because they're going to be able to talk to you. Because I think you've got people who they just like to go for the rides and then leave. You've got people who don't like rides, but they really like those interactive experiences. You've got your other people who like to do everything. And so your agent's going to sit down with you and be like, okay, what are your goals and your priorities? And like, what is it that you're wanting to get out of this trip? And then they're going to be able to better help you understand maybe you should do 2 days, or maybe you don't need 2 days. Maybe you can just do one day and get express and get everything done. Or maybe you might need like a whole trip out of this and stuff. And they're going to be able to kind of help you walk you through that. Whereas when you go on your own, you just kind of going, seeing what happens. And that
Yeah.
sometimes can work, but sometimes it doesn't. So sometimes it's nice to just have someone in your back pocket that like knows what they're talking about to be able
And
to
you have
be
to,
like,
yeah.
okay, here's
And
Sure.
remember that,
you
like,
know.
a travel agent, even when they go and experience it, right? Like, they're always thinking about it from various clients' perspectives.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
even though like Amy and I really enjoy meeting the characters, right? And we're not necessarily like the biggest ride people in the world. It doesn't mean that we don't understand how to explain, tackling the rides to our clients and those kinds of things. And so, and the other great part is like within agencies like Goofy Getaways, we shared what we learn on these experiences. So like our agents that are doing the previews, we have some agents that like have little kids. So they're sharing tips with us that they're like, "Oh my gosh, my 4-year-old would love this attraction. Make sure that you're telling your clients that have a 4-year-old that like
Yeah.
this is
From
where they're going to
every
want to be."
age,
And so like
every
we're
age.
sharing those kinds of tips with other people that I don't mean this to sound bad. You're not going to get that from watching an influencer's video, right?
Mm-mm.
Because it's different
Mm-mm.
content. The influencer is sharing with you, "Hey, this is what I enjoyed," which is lovely. But the agent is going to go, "What do you want to do? Awesome. Let me take everything that I've learned and
Yes,
heard and cater everything to what you need for your epic experience," right? So it
yep,
just makes it,
for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think you guys know I say it too. I mean, I'm a firm believer in, I personally think that you can sell any kind of travel, right? Any kind of package, but I really do think that you do the best. This is my own personal opinion, and how I lead my team, our company. I think experiencing things and destinations and doing it firsthand yourself is how you're going to get the best gauge of how to do something. With that being said, because we have so many agents that are going to be able to experience this, I feel like even having that firsthand, secondhand knowledge of something is going to make it better than somebody that hasn't been there at all. So I think Epic is one of the places that you are definitely going to want to make sure that you have a game plan and knowing what it is that you want to do and what is most important because the entire thing is spectacular. And I mean, I've only been twice, and I have one more time I'm going to go before it opens. I guess technically two more times if we count the actual opening night ceremony. But I've done it kind of differently each time, which gives me a different perspective to be able to share so that, I mean, I feel like as much as we've talked about it too, Amy, I mean, you have to feel like you may not have been like there, but I mean,
Oh,
I even
yeah.
think that the day that we talked and I was kind of texting Amy back and forth and she's like, oh, I've already got it. Like I've already got this planned and, nope, we're already doing this. And so I think it really just, there's not too much information to be had to make it
Hmm.
even more special, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can show up and go in and not know anything about it, but to get everything that you want out of it, I think it's go with somebody that kind of knows and has done it.
Yep.
It's my long spiel on how you
I
should
like that
use a
spiel. And that
travel
spiel kind
agent.
of needs to lead
Yeah.
us into our Amy's All In. So if you're new here, hi, we're the Amy's. And
Yes,
then
we are.
whenever we have a special guest, we invite them to participate as well. But we are going to do Amy's All In, which is where we really just tell you something that we are all in about, usually related to the topic at hand on the episode. So today, we're specifically going to talk about like what is the number one thing that each of us are all in about, either in Super Nintendo World or Isle of Berk over in Epic Universe. So, Kayla, do you want to go first and tell us your like top number one thing that, like, if you can only do one thing in there, what's it going to be? Or like the thing that's the most special to you?
I think the characters for me. Even if you are not super into the movies or into the video games, I think taking a little bit of time to at least have an interaction with one of the characters, it will be one of your most favorite memories of the day. I mean, particularly in Isle of Berk, because that's what I really love. But the characters are cool in Nintendo too. But I would definitely say, like, take that moment, go talk to a character. It'll make your day.
Yeah, for sure. That's, yeah, my all in 100% is Isle of Berk. And I mean, just, I am all in on everything are we calling them lands?
They're
Technically, they're
portals.
They're
worlds, they're
portals, right?
portals.
Yeah. So I'm all in on that portal, on that, yeah, world. And obviously that toothless interaction was probably the best character experience I've had in my entire life.
And even though I haven't actually been yet, I'm going to tell you that I already know I'm going to be all in on the Untrainable Dragon show. I am a huge component for entertainment. One, because I love a sitting break in the air conditioning, but two, like they were talking about with like the experience that you get with characters and things like that, you truly should not skip the entertainment experiences that are offered at theme parks and especially at Epic. It's going to be 100% worth your time, your effort, your energy, and it's going to be a wonderful experience for you to enjoy. So
yeah, I'm
that's
excited
what I'm
for
all
you
in
to see
about.
it too. Yeah, you're going to love it.
I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we're going to kind of wrap up this episode for you today. This was just episode 1 about Epic. Don't worry, episode 2 is coming to you very, very soon. So again, we're going to talk about Dark Universe, Ministry of Magic, and Celestial Park, so the other 3 portals that make up Epic Universe. So be sure to give us any comments, anything that you want to make sure that we cover, things like that as well. Be sure to subscribe and continue to listen. Follow us on social media. And Amy, if somebody is ready to book their Epic vacation.
Yeah, if you're ready to book or you need us to talk you into booking, hey, we want you to reach out to us at Goofy Getaways. So you can reach out to us by going to our website, which is www.goofygetaways.com. You can, of course, call us. We do have a number that is listed on the website. You can also email us at info@goofygetaways.com. You can check out our social media. We have fantastic social media, Instagram and Facebook. a little bit of TikTok even also. So lots of different ways for you to reach us. So come on, reach out. Remember, our services are complimentary. When you book a package with us, we have amazing agents for you to choose from. Check out our website, look at everyone's bios. If you're like, they all look really cool, pick one for me. We will definitely pick an agent for you, but you can also pick one out yourself. But yeah, we have an amazing team of people that are like prepared, ready, and excited to help you have this like epic experience for sure. Any experience, but specifically today, your epic one. So yeah, I think that's all I got for today, but get ready to tune in for part 2 because you're not going to want to miss it. So I think if we don't have anything else, then I'm just going to say that I'll see ya
real soon.
If you liked today's episode of the Goofy Getaways podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember to follow Goofy Getaways on social media so we can lead you to the magic.